Okay, so hi, it's Carrie again, here to practice a slow-paced, steady vinyasa flow class where we'll emphasize holding the movements, really feeling the body sort of settle into the movements, and really focusing on the transition between poses as well. So thanks for joining me, and we'll meet on our mats in a nice, just restorative, restful pose, starting on your back. So we'll just come into position, just settling into your mat. Coming to the back. Maybe it feels nice to take the feet wide. And just let the knees come together. Draw the eyes to close. And just begin to notice the parts of your body that feel heavy. So maybe through the hips, the upper back, the head. And then notice some places along the length of the body where there might be some space. Beneath the low back, beneath the neck. And draw your attention to the natural curvature of your spine. Just feeling that here, feeling how that feels. It's a little bit different for everybody. But without adjusting it at all, just feel that natural position that you come to when you lay on your back. And then think about sort of how you might maintain the spine in this position as you move through your yoga practice. So beginning to draw awareness to your breath. I like to take my hands and place them on my rib cage. You could take a hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. But sometimes placing the hands on the body allows you to just feel the rise and fall of the chest and the belly as you breathe in and out. As you just begin to feel how the body has arrived on the mat today, and just noticing any places you might be holding tension. Notice the temperature in the room. Maybe you notice the sounds inside of the space where you practice in your house. And just begin to take a really deep, full breath in. So inhale all the way to the top. And then open your mouth and let out all your air. Just like you're fogging up a mirror. Take another big breath in through the nose. Exhale, squeeze all your air out. One last time, noticing the rib cage expand as you breathe in. And an equally long, slow breath all the way out. And then being mindful to sort of keep the spine in its current position. Begin to point our knees up to the ceiling. And just take lift the foot off, your left foot off the floor, knee towards the ceiling, coming into sort of that tabletop position on your back with your left and your right legs. So try to keep your spine in that neutral curvature that you can feel when your feet are planted on the floor. So keeping the knees stacked above the hips rather than pulling the knees in, right? So let that curvature of the back maintain itself. Maybe take your hands to your hips so that you can feel the steadiness in your hips. And then we'll slowly from here, maintaining that neutral spine, lower the left toes down to the mat. And then inhale back up to center and switch sides. Right toes go down and come back up. And then just alternating these toe taps, keeping the shins parallel to the ceiling, keeping the spinal cord in that neutral position, keeping the hips really steady. And you alternate lowering down, lifting up. Tap and lift. Keeping the knees stacked over the hips. Really nice. One more time each side. Here we go. Tap the left foot down and up. Last time, right toes tap and up. Then from here, just take the palms of your hands to your thighs, and then just begin to lightly press your palms into your thighs and press back with your thighs into your palms. So here you might notice your abdominal muscles contracting, lighting up. Keep that spine just as it was when your feet were planted on the floor. Keep the belly squeezed in. Big breath in here, fill all the way up to the top. Exhale out. Keep pressing, keep pressing. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, let it go. Go ahead and pull your knees into your chest. Maybe begin to make some circles. Just massaging out that low spine. Maybe reverse the other way. Really nice. And then you'll just begin to rock and roll. And we'll come up to all fours. Come up to tabletop. Stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over your knees here. And then see if you can come back to that natural curvature of the spine that you felt when you were laying on your back. So we're not overly arching here. We're also not tucking the tailbone in, but just coming to neutral. And then begin to tuck the toes, press firmly into the palms of the hands, hover the knees off the mat just about an inch or so. Take a big breath in. Exhale, let it out. Stay here, knees hovered. Inhale. Exhale out. From here, keep the knees hovering off the mat. Send the right toes to the back of the mat. And then the left toes meet, and we come into a high plank position. So again, pressing firmly into the hands. See if you can broaden through the collarbone a little bit. Take the gaze slightly forward. Draw the belly in. Squeeze the legs. Take the heels over the balls of the feet. And remember, you can always lower the knees down. This is a perfectly good plank pose here. Take a big breath here. And then either with the knees lifted or raised, draw the elbows back along your sides. Slowly lower all the way down to the mat. And then we'll untuck the toes. Take the arms along the side bodies, palm facing down. And on your next breath in, keeping the fingertips planted along the side of the body, you'll inhale here. Just lift the head and chest. Maybe walk the fingertips back a little bit. Keep the neck nice and long, so don't look up in front of you, but keep your gaze down towards your mat. Lengthen the spine out. Draw the shoulders down and back. Reach the fingertips behind you. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, lower down. Really nice. This time, inhale, lift up. And then exhale, lift the feet and the legs. Begin to pull them off. And then maybe lift the fingertips here. Coming into Shalambhasana, locust pose. So you can keep the feet wide if that feels better on the low back, or you can draw the legs together. Reach the crown of the head forward. Reach the toes to the back of the room. Take a big breath in. Exhale and lower down. Very nice. Bend the knees. Take the feet side to side. And then we come up through tabletop position once again. Again, take that neutral spine here. Tuck your toes. Hover those knees off the mat. Big breath in through the nose. Slowly exhale out. And then you take the left toes to the back of the mat. We're still hovering the right foot or the right knee off the mat. And then right foot meets left. High plank pose. Take a big breath in here. And then as you exhale, you lower all the way down to the belly. This time, one big breath in. Everything lifts that can lift. Coming into Shalambhasana. Arms are alongside the body, palms facing down. Big breath here as you get long. Stay for your exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, lower down. Take your right ear to the mat. Bend your knees. Windshield wiper your legs. Plant your hands. Come up through tabletop. From here, we'll tuck the toes. Coming into that downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to pedal this out. Find any movement that feels good in the body. Maybe take the hips side to side. And really set your pose up from the ground. Press the hands, starting with the hands. Spread the fingers wide. Press fingertips and all surfaces of the palms of the hands down toward the mat. Press the index finger, knuckle, and thumb into the mat. Maybe open up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Spread through the collarbone. Send the hips up and back, so really pressing the hands away from you. Feel the lengthening from the armpits all the way down the sides of the body. Maybe the knees stay bent. And then notice if you're arching in the back, can you tuck the low ribs just a little bit here? And then firing up the legs. Inhale, rise up onto your toes. Exhale. Send the heels back just as far as they'll go. There's no need to plant the heels into the mat. Inhale, rise up on the toes. Exhale, lower the heels down. Inhale and lift up on the toes. Exhale, coming down. Take a big breath in here. Exhale out. Lengthen through the spine and the sides of the body. And you'll rise up on your toes. Just look between your hands and tiptoe to the front of your mat. From here, we'll come into that forward fold. Feet or hips distance. You can keep the knees bent. If that feels good, maybe grab for opposite elbows. Maybe sway side to side. And then notice the feet. Maybe shift the weight into the balls of the feet and then back into the heels. Rocking back and forth to find that middle ground where your weight's distributed evenly in the balls of the feet and the heels. Relax the bind if you're bound. And then from here you'll begin to, on your inhale, draw the palms of your hands to your thighs. As you draw the elbows toward the back of the room, keep the neck nice and long, and we lengthen and lift halfway. Draw the low belly in, send the hip bones far to the back of the room. Big breath here. Exhale and you fold over your legs. Inhale, root down, rise all the way up to stand, reach out and up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Again, take the feet hips distance. We'll come into Tadasana, mountain pose. So palms facing forward, roll the shoulders down and back. Light up some energy in the fingers. And then notice the spine. Can you find that neutral position once again? Maybe you shift the hips slightly forward, stacking the hips over the knees. Maybe you draw the low edges of the ribs in just a little bit. Squeeze the legs, lift the kneecaps, and feel the even weight in the feet. Take a big breath in here, reach out and up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. We'll take one more half sun A. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Surya Namaskar A. Fold over your legs. Inhale, root down, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale and you fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. We're just building some heat here to start. Exhale, plant your hands, step back high, plank pose. Take a breath here. Slowly exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, Shalambhasana, locust pose. Lift everything up. Exhale, lower down. Plant the hands next to the ribs. Come through your tabletop. Downward facing dog. From here, you'll inhale as you float the right leg up high. Really, again, pressing the palms away, getting long through the sides of the body. Really reach those right toes back to the back of the room. Take a big breath in. Exhale, begin to rise up on the toes. Draw your knee to your nose, round the spine, and then begin to send the foot forward. Plant that right foot between your palms. Maybe take the feet a little bit wider. Drop that back knee. Inhale, crane pose. Lift up. So here you want to take the right hip back as the left hip pulls forward. So you can imagine dragging your right foot to the back of your mat as you pull your left thigh forward, squeezing a little through the outer hips. And then you decide, you can stay here with the hips stacked over the knees, or you can bend into that a little bit, opening up that quadricep muscle on the left, keeping the right knee stacked over the right ankle. Inhale here, lift your arms high. Exhale, take a twist. Left fingertips come forward, right fingertips back. Again, imagine squeezing in the outer hips, drawing the low belly in. Inhale, we lift the arms. Exhale, plant the hands back. Tuck your toes. Step back, high plank pose. From here, you can drop the knees or you can lower all the way down. Inhale, locust. Lift everything up. Stay for the exhale. Breath in, imagine getting nice and long here. Exhale, plant the hands down. We meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot begins to rise up, coming into three-legged dog. Really send those toes way to that back wall. Draw the low ribs in, stretch through the sides of the body. Inhale here. Exhale, you begin to draw that left knee to your nose. Take the gaze between your hands, set that left foot down. Maybe widen the feet out just a bit, drop that right knee. Rise up, crane pose. Left thumb to left hip crease, pull the left hip back. Let the right hip pull forward just a tad. Squeeze the legs together. Draw the low ribs in. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, open arm twist. Right fingertips to the front of the room, left fingertips to the back. Squeeze the thighs here. Keep the muscles engaged. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, plant your hands. Tuck your toes. High plank pose. Again, from your high plank, you can always lower the knees down. And you can always opt out of the flow. To take the vinyasa flow with the knees down or lifted, you can lower all the way down, halfway down, chaturanga, keeping the shoulders above the elbow points. And then maybe you come into cobra, come into upward facing dog, if that feels okay on the back. Pressing firmly through the palms of the hands and the tops of the feet. A little bit of igniting the muscles of the glutes. So the only thing here touching the floor is the tops of my feet and the palms of my hands. Take a big breath in whatever back bend you choose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue, let it all out. Inhale, rise up on your toes. Then you'll bend your knees, look between your hands, and you can step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, root down, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, sit the hips down and back, coming into chair pose. Utkatasana, bring the hands to heart center. Sit the hips back. So here you really want to sit the hips back like you're sitting in a chair. See if you can lift your toes and then set them back down. Take a breath in. Maybe sink a little bit lower. Squeeze the hamstrings in the back of the legs. Squeeze the glutes. From here, take your arms out about shoulder height, palms facing down. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, maybe draw the arms back behind you, palms facing up as your weight shifts into the balls of your feet. Maybe you stay right here. Maybe you begin to lift the heels, coming to the toes. Take a big breath in. Sink a little lower on the breath out. One more breath in. Exhale, lower the heels down. Press into the feet and stand all the way up. Reach up high. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step back. High plank pose. Go ahead and take a flow here, your vinyasa flow, or you can skip it and just meet in downward facing dog. Again, you can take a cobra. You can take a locust, shalabhasana, bhujangasana. Or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. From here, inhale the right leg high. Exhale, draw your knee forward as you plant the right foot down. Make sure the feet are hips distance. Coming high onto the ball of the back foot. Inhale, lift up, coming into crescent warrior. So from here, you can take a bend in that back knee to take some of that strain out of the low back, some of that arch. You can bring the palm of your hand to your sacral area and your belly, and notice the position of your spine here. So if you're arching with your legs straight, maybe take a bend in that back knee. Right hip pulls back. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, stay here. Squeeze the left glutes. Another big breath in. Exhale out. Last one, big breath here. Exhale, plant the hands down, coming into that low lunge. Step back, high plank pose. And we meet in downward facing dog. You can always just work building strength in the plank pose and stay right here. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose, look between your hands, step the left foot down, rise up, crescent warrior. Two big breaths here. Pull the left hip back, the right hip forward, squeeze through the glutes. Exhale, plant your hands down. Step back, high plank, and you make your way to downward facing dog. Really nice. Rise up on your toes, bend your knees, make your way to the front of your mat. Inhale and lengthen the spine. Exhale and you fold forward. Inhale, root down, rise all the way up to stand. Grab onto that left wrist, side bend, stretch over to the right. Inhale back to center. Switch your grip. Stretch over to the left. Inhale, look up. Reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, root down, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, fold forward. Step back, high plank pose. Again, you can go through your flow, chaturanga to a back bend to downward facing dog, or you can just meet in downward facing dog. From here, we're going to inhale the right leg high, and And then exhale, we'll come to the ball of the left foot. Just shift the weight forward, shoulders over the wrists. We're coming into a three-legged plank here. Really nice. Take a big breath in. Draw your right knee to your right tricep. Squeeze here. Extend it back. Lift up, three-legged dog. Right foot raise up. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose. Plant your right foot down. Yeah, really sink the hips here. If you have a block handy, you can grab a block. Place your left hand on a block. Squeeze the hips together. Peel the right fingertips toward the ceiling, coming into a twist. And plant that right hand back down. From here, we're going to pop the left foot up about a third of the way. So both sets of toes are pointing forward. Feet are hips distance here. Coming into pyramid pose. So if you have blocks handy, blocks are nice here. You can use your hands on a block. Again, we're pulling the right hip to the back of the room. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, you fold forward. Maybe you keep a little bit of a bend in that right knee. Noticing here where you can find some softness. And from here, we'll inhale, we'll lengthen the spine out. And then you'll take a block if you have one. So come to the heel of your front foot, and you'll set the block on an angle. So the ball of your foot is pressing down into the block as it's lifted on the edge of one of the short ends. This is just giving us a nice calf stretch in the lower part of the back of the right leg. Take a big breath in here. You can take your hand to your sacrum. Exhale out. Big breath in. And relax and fold forward. Go ahead and begin to release the block down. And then from here, we'll just heel toe or yogi walk our way over to a straddle position. So I'm going to flip around so you can see me a little better. So here, your toes are pointing toward the long end of your mat. Come up to stand, draw our hands to our hips here. And then go ahead and turn the toes out to about a 45-degree angle or so. And then sit the hips down, coming into this horse stance. Sit your hips down, draw your hands to heart center. And then lower in. Maybe heel toe the feet a little bit wider. Maybe just begin to rock side to side here a little bit, bending and straightening the knee. And then maybe you take this just a little bit deeper, hinging forward through the hips, alternating side to side, stretching through that inner thigh of the right leg, and then the left. You can always take the hands to the floor and walk your fingers side to side as you come into this skater lunge, this skandasana. Building some strength in the quads here. And then we'll come back through center, sink the hips down. Really opening up through the thighs. And then we begin to stand. Straighten the legs, turn the toes in, the heels out just a little bit. Take a big breath in as you lift the heart and the chest, maybe take the gaze up, and then hinging forward at the hips, send the tailbone back as you slowly come down. Release the head, let it hang heavy. Shake the head yes and no. Maybe begin to notice where the weight is in your feet. And your tendency might be to have most of your weight in your heels. See if you can shift the weight forward a little bit so that it's a little more even. And then walk your fingertips through your legs. You can keep the knees bent slightly here. Send your fingers pointing back. Just begin to walk yourself between your legs here. Inhale, lengthening the spine out on your breath in. Exhale, you fold a little deeper. Noticing the sensations in the body. And maybe taking yourself to that edge, but then taking a few steps back. Right? There's no need to overstretch, just until you feel some sensation. Then begin to walk the hands forward. Go ahead, inhale, flatten out the back, lengthen the spine, look down toward the floor. And then place the left hand in front of your face, bend your left knee, float your right fingertips up toward the ceiling, coming into a twist. Exhale, right hand comes down, right hand plants below the face, right knee bends. Inhale, lift the left fingers. Exhale, release down. And then go ahead and begin to yogi walk back to the front of your mat. Take a bend in that left knee, coming back into that runner's lunge, that low lunge, with your hands framing that left foot. Step back, high plank pose. And again, you can make your way through a vinyasa flow, or you can just skip it and meet in downward facing dog. When you get to your downward facing dog, take a big breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. From here, your left leg floats up. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg rises. On your exhale, you come forward, three-legged plank pose. Left toes hover off the mat. Coming down into your plank. Squeeze everything that can squeeze. Take a breath in. Exhale, draw your left knee to your left tricep. Inhale, send it back. Exhale out. Press down, three-legged dog. Left leg rises. Inhale, draw your left knee towards your nose. Look between your hands. Plant the left foot down. Set your feet up first, and then you rise up, crescent warrior. 3 breaths here. Take a big breath in. Exhale out. Left hip draws back. Another breath in. And on your exhale, plant your hands down. Coming into that low lunge. We'll take that dragonfly twist, opening up to the left, so right hand plants. Lower the hips down, light up the glutes in that right leg, light up that right leg. Peel your left fingertips high. Draw your shoulder blades together. Exhale, left fingers come down. And we pop that right foot up. A third of the way or so. Feet are hips distance, toes are pointing forward. Left hip is pulling to the back of the room. Hips are nice and square here. You can keep a slight micro bend in that front knee. We're coming into pyramid pose. If you have blocks, place your hands on the blocks and lengthen out your spine. And then you exhale and you fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Really nice. And then we're going to take that block again. So lift the front toes. Take that block so that the ball of your feet, your ball of your left foot is pressed firmly into that block that's balancing up on that short edge. Bend in the left knee. We're just taking a stretch here in the back of the calf, right? Lengthen the spine on your inhale. Maybe on your exhale you fold a little deeper. Very nice. From here you'll remove the block. And go ahead and walk the hands back around, coming into that wide angled forward fold once again. This time walk your hands over towards your right foot. Maybe you draw your nose towards your knee. Take a breath in here. Get long in the left side body. And then exhale, fold into that right leg. Walk the hands back through center. Take it over to the left. So again, walk the right fingertips out in front of you so you can feel that stretch through the right side of the body, all the way from the outside of that lat muscle, all the way down the ribs. Inhale, get nice and long. Exhale, fold in toward that left knee. And again, notice where your weight is. Maybe shift your weight forward just a little bit. Send the hips up and back. And breathe. Walk your hands back to center. Take your heels in, your toes out wide. And then we'll come and just sink the hips down. Coming into this goddess squat here. So maybe you shift side to side. And then notice if you're dumping in, can you lift the hips up an inch or so? Maybe you lift the arms. Breathe here. When this gets tough, lower the hands down. Use the elbows to open up those hips a little. One more big breath in. Exhale, plant your hands, fold over your legs. Let your head drop. Heel toe your feet back in. Feet together, lengthen the spine. Exhale and you plant your hands, high plank pose. Take a big breath in here. Exhale out. And then we're going to lower down to our forearms. So coming into forearm plank, shoulders stacked over elbows. You can keep the hands spread nice and wide here. And you can always drop the knees if this gets to be too much. 3 big breaths here. Breathe in and out. Remember, keep all of the muscles in the lower body and the abs really tight. Breath in. Exhale out. Last time, big breath in. Exhale, lower the knees down, the hips, untuck the toes. Yeah, you can take the feet wide here. Coming into that Sphinx pose. So we're on our forearms. You can take the forearms a little bit out in front of you, a little bit in front of the shoulders here. Draw the low belly in. Really nice, and then lower all the way down. From here, we'll do one more round on each side. So we'll coming back through tabletop or child's pose. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. From here, inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, plant the right foot between the hands. Set your base up, draw the belly in, press into the right foot, rise up, crescent warrior. Again, remembering all those little cues to set up your good alignment here. So you're maybe slight bend in the back knee, squeeze the glutes. Right knees over right ankle, right hips pulling back here. Inhale the arms high. Exhale, come into that thunderbolt lunge. Begin to hover the chest forward. So most of the weight is in the right foot here. So you're just barely on the toes of that back foot. And then from here, pressing into the right foot, we'll begin to come to stand, lifting the left knee up toward the chest. Balance here. Remember, you can always drop the toes down, and if you fall out of it, you can always come back in. Notice here, if you're sinking down into that right hip, see if you can lift out. Maybe put your hands on your hips to square your center. You can keep the hands here at heart center with that left knee lifted. Very slowly, we're going to take the left leg behind us, plant that ball of that foot to the back of the mat, coming back into that crescent warrior. So bend deeply into that right knee and really slow with control. Right, left toes come back. Inhale, crescent warrior. Breath in here. Exhale, hover the chest over the right thigh. Come light, get light on the left toes. Press into the right foot. We come up to stand. Right knee lifts. Lifting out of the hips here. Breath in. Exhale, we send the left toes back. Slow and controlled. Left toes plant. Right arms lift up, crescent warrior. One last time here. We hinge forward on our breath in. Thunderbolt lunge. Breath in here. Exhale, press into that right foot. Rise up to stand. Left knee to the chest. Big breath in. Exhale, left toes go to the back of the mat. Squeeze the outsides of those hips in toward one another as you inhale and lift. Exhale, plant your hands down. Step back, high plank pose. From here, we're going to come into Vashisthasana, side plank. So you've got some options here. You can drop the left knee down and just kick that left foot out a little bit. Position the right hand under the face. Spin the sole of your right foot flat. Toes are pointing out in front of you. Right arms lift. So you can come into this supported Vashisthasana right there. Alternatively, you can, from your high plank pose, take your left hand to the center of your mat, slightly in front of your left shoulder. Send both of your heels over to the left. Inhale the right fingertips high. Lift through the hips. Feet are stacked. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Big breath in. Exhale out. Breath in. Exhale, plant the right hand down. And again, you can go through a vinyasa flow or you can skip it and meet us in downward facing dog. Inhale on your back bend. Exhale on your downward facing dog. We have one more side here to do. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, draw your knee towards your nose. Left foot plants between the hands, setting up for crescent warrior on the left side. Inhale, rise up to stand. Exhale, take the arms behind you. Hover the chest over that left thigh. Big breath in here. Get light on the exhale in the right toes. Send all that weight into the left foot. As you shift your weight forward, lift the torso, right knee lifts. Again, notice here where you are. Notice if you're sinking down into that left hip. See if you can pull out. Take a big breath in here. As you exhale, you begin to hinge forward at the waist. Take the right toes back to the back of the mat. Bend deeply into that left knee. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hover the chest. Thunderbolt lunge. Take a big breath in. Exhale, draw your hands to heart center. Shift that weight. Rise up, right knee to the chest. Take a breath here. Exhale with control. We slowly step back. Reach the right toes way to the back of the mat. Inhale, crescent warrior. One last time. Inhale, thunderbolt lunge. Left hip is pulling back. We're beginning light in the right toes. Inhale, you begin to lift up. Maybe you wiggle and lose your balance. That's okay. Draw your knee in towards your chest. Stay for the exhale. Breath in. Exhale, last time. Deep bend in the left knee. Hinge forward a little at the waist. Send the right toes to the back of your mat. Squeeze the thighs together. Inhale and lift. Exhale, plant the hands down. Come into that low lunge. Steps back, high plank pose. From your high plank, again, you can lower the right limbs down, kick the right leg out, spin the sole of that foot flat, come into that supported side plank, or alternatively from high plank pose, take the right hand just in front of the face, the right shoulder to the center of the mat, drop the heels over to the right, left fingertips lift. Notice here if the hips are sinking down. See if you can lift the hips. Press firmly into the feet. Maybe you can get the sole of the right foot pressing into the mat. Shoulder blades squeeze together in the middle of the back. Breathe in. Exhale, plant the left hand down. High plank pose. And then you go through your last flow here. So lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, take your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, let all your air out. One more big breath. And then exhale, you'll just lower down to your knees. Coming onto the back. We'll just slowly begin to roll down. So once again, find that natural neutral position in the spine. Let the hips be heavy. Maybe you have a little space under the low back. Find a nice, comfortable, neutral position with the head. So you don't want the chin tucked too far in, but you don't want it too far up. So find somewhere neutral. And then from here, we're going to take the feet hips distance or maybe a little wider. Press into the feet and then just begin to take that posterior tilt of the pelvis as you press the small of the back into your mat and lift the hips. Coming into bridge pose. Pressing firmly into the feet. Notice the belly on your inhale. Fill up the belly. Exhale, let it go. Slowly lower down. One vertebrae at a time. Take the feet out wide. Let the knees fall over to the left and the right. Windshield wiper the knees. Then we'll set up for another bridge pose. So try to take your fingers so they graze your heels. Knees are pointing up here. Take that little tilt as you begin to press into the feet. Press into the heels. And then from here, maybe you heel toe your left foot into the center of your mat a little bit more. Press firmly into that left foot. Maybe you lift the right leg coming into that tabletop position. You can always keep the right foot down. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale. One more big breath. Lower that right foot down. Inhale, lift the left foot. So maybe you heel toe the right foot toward the center of your mat. Press firmly into that right heel. Left shin is parallel to the ceiling. Your left knee is over your left hip. Breathing here. Working in the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads. One last breath here. Breathe in. Exhale, lower that foot down. Lower the hips all the way to your mat. Once again, take the feet wide. Windshield wiper the legs. And then we'll come into just that sort of half pigeon pose on your back. So plant your feet down. You'll take your right ankle over your left knee. Flex the right foot. Maybe you stay here. Maybe this is enough. Or if you want to take this stretch a little deeper into the hips, begin to lift the left foot off the ground. Maybe you interlace hands behind the left thigh. Keeping the left knee over the left hip. So notice if that left knee is coming toward the middle of your body, toward the belly button. See if you can pull it back over the left hip. Maybe use your right elbow to press into the inner thigh of the right leg. Again, taking this to wherever it is that you feel the stretch. Breathing here. Maybe bring the eyes to close. Maybe come back to the breath. Taking a long, slow, deep inhalation. Maybe pausing at the top. And then a long, slow exhalation out. Maybe you can hear that sound of an ocean wave as you breathe in. And out. And we'll lower the left leg down if yours is lifted. Plant the right foot, left ankle crosses over the right knee. We're switching sides, so you can, again, stay here. Or you can begin to draw that right knee in toward the chest. Maybe provide a self-assist by interlacing the hands behind the right thigh and then pressing that left elbow into that left inner thigh. Being mindful to track the right knee over the right hip. And then breathing into the sensation. Imagine getting nice and long in the spine as you breathe in. And exhale, you sink deeper into the hip. 2 more full breaths. Begin to lower the right foot down. And just draw the knees into your chest. Maybe open the knees out wide. You can just stay here, drawing your knees in towards your armpits, or you can grab for the backs of the thighs, the ankles, the insides or the outsides of the soles of the feet. And then just draw those knees in towards your armpits. And then notice if your tailbone is wildly rounded off of the mat, maybe kick the hands into the feet a little bit, draw the tailbone down as you open up. Maybe rock side to side if that feels good. Taking this happy baby, maybe you extend one leg. Bend it back in, maybe you extend the other. Maybe you grab onto the big toes. Maybe extend both legs long. Go ahead and release. Give yourself one more big squeeze here. And then we'll take legs up the wall. So from here, you can go to a wall if you're near a wall and just send your hips toward the baseboards or the wall and your legs up. If you have a yoga block, you can place it under the sacrum. That feels nice. And you can stay here in a supported bridge, or you can begin to float the legs. Taking a very restful and relaxed in this pose. Just letting the legs feel heavy. Drop all the muscle contraction. Just allowing the body to relax completely. And then from here, you'll slowly begin to lower the feet back down to your mat. If you have a block underneath of you, you can remove the block. We'll go ahead and take the legs out long. stretch the arms overhead, taking a full body stretch. Exhale, let it all go. Setting up for your final resting pose. Coming into Shavasana. So let your arms and legs just flop open. Let your feet flop open. Get rid of the controlled breath. Get rid of the muscle contraction. Coming into a full state of restfulness. Just surrendering the weight of the body, feeling it sink into the mat. If you have a towel or a t-shirt or a blanket nearby, you can place it over the eyes. You can stay in your Shavasana as long as you would like. Or you can begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe turn the head right and left. And drawing your fetal position. Just resting for a moment there. Now when you're ready, you can begin to press yourself up to a seated position. Maybe you keep the eyes closed. Draw your hands to heart center. Expressing gratitude for practice. Thank each of you for joining me. Wherever you're practicing from, whenever you're practicing from. Draw our thumb knuckles to our third eye. And together we say, Namaste. Really nice. I hope everyone is feeling great. And I'll see you again soon for another session.